I don't know if you guys can hear me, but I can't hear you guys. Yay, success!
Marissa, we're not purposely. We're not ready. We're not started yet. We're waiting on Sam. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, welcome to the State Fair Community College Board of Trustee meeting for Thursday, March 26, 2026. And we will call the meeting to order, and I would need an approval of the agenda as sent out.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Lisa, do we have any citizens' comments?
No, we have no comment.
All right, next on the agenda is the approval of the February 26, 2026 board meeting minutes as published. Entertain a motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Hold same sign. Motion passes. Looks like Keith is ready to roll with our warrant number 8 for 2026 February.
During the month of February 2026, the college disbursed $4,093,524 as shown. Of that, $679,053 was for the construction of the outdoor athletic complex. Otherwise, also shown.
I would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Any questions? Discussion? All in favor, say aye. Oh, same sign. Motion passes. Now, the best part of the evening is new employee introductions.
If you want to start.
Well, I'm going to let Polly introduce a young lady who's been here while she's a new employee. She's been here quite some time, couple of years, right, Shelley? So if you've been to the campus store, you may have seen her, but decided after 2 years, she could prove herself well enough. Why don't you take it from here?
Shelby Lipton, and he was a keeper when I called her Shelby Lipton for like the first year, and she never corrected me.
I would never do that.
For a year.
Like that. He was a program student when he was working on her business management degree. He is a state very proud of that. And got more responsibility when we needed coverage for maternity leave. Worked out well, so we just kept giving her some additional projects, and you know, it was an easy move to go. Her fiance Christian is a state fair student. He will be graduating in May, so we're excited about the shut that we have in her family. So just kind of one other kind of interesting fact about her. She is a go-getter. She started her own business, and she owns Suds and Company, a company in Lincoln, Missouri that is like bath salts and really cool things. So we are very fortunate when she has oopsies. She's like, hey, this is broken, or the bunny rabbit's ears.
You might know someone who has a store. I don't know.
Anyway, I did tell her that she had to go around and shake everybody. Take that for later.
Well, welcome.
Welcome.
What did you say she makes or sells?
I hand make bath products. So I have like bath bombs, bubble cookies, lotion, wet body wash, things like that.
So does our store sell those in?
We don't.
Have a roadrunner.
Yes.
Facebook page or?
We do. I advertise on Facebook, and I have a new TikTok account for
Your name.
yes, the Suds Company.
FUD.
Z at the end.
Yes, SUDZ.
Okay.
Welcome.
All right, and Darcy.
So I would like to introduce Amanda Porter. She's joining the TRIO program as a student success coach. And Amanda is an Oakland alum, and she graduated from State Fair in 2021 with an AA in history. While she was here, she was also a TRIO student herself and a student worker in financial aid. She said she loved her time here at SFCC, with a special shout out a couple of times to Dr. May McClellan in the art department. After she left State Fair, Amanda went to earn a bachelor's in anthropology at UCM and had minors in both history and art history. And then she went to the University of North Carolina at Charlotte and got a master's degree in anthropology. She comes to us from a farm family just on the west side of Warrensburg, and we're very happy to welcome her back to State Fair.
Welcome.
Come, Amanda.
Like saying thank you.
Next number.
So we will continue on with our meeting. However, if you're here as a guest, if you want to leave now or at any point in time.
You, Polly.
Yeah, Polly, we'd like you to stay, please.
Wonderful day.
Anytime. Okay, next is the Student Government Association and Clubs update.
Yes, we have our new Student Government Association President, Marissa Foster, joining us via Zoom. So,
Hi, so sorry I can't be there today, guys. Hopefully this suffices. So can you guys hear me okay?
yes.
Okay, so first of all, we had our SGA Senate meeting yesterday. Pretty much all I have to really report for that is that all the clubs and organizations are just busy finishing up the semester. It's crazy to think we're already over halfway through the semester, so just working on pushing through there. Our Easter egg hunt that we're putting on through SGA is on Monday, which is the March 30th. It'll be at 4 p.m. and it will be on the quad. SGA committee also selected finalists in each category for the faculty awards. So they will be meeting next week to select those winners. And then the awards ceremony is held April 24th at 1 p.m. and it will be in the Stavaker Theater. Let's see. SGA is also helping Leah plan a spring fling that we're hoping to do. It's going to be on April 22nd. So it's going to consist of some axe throwing. We're going to have a dirty soda bar. There's going to be free lunch for the students, faculty, and staff. We're going to have yard games and a bunch more stuff. So we hope to see a big turnout there. And then lastly, I just wanted to mention about the SGA officer applications. They are open until March 30th, and that's for the 26-27 academic school year. And so then the applicants, they'll be interviewed by a committee, and then elections will take place in between April 6th and April 10th. And I think that's really all I have to share.
Very good.
Thank you,
Any
Marissa.
questions? Sounds like you're doing bang up work. That was one of the best reports we've had.
Oh, thank you. I tried my best.
Way to
Thank
go,
you,
Marissa.
everyone.
Thank you.
Get to hear about things that are happening on campus with our institutional report.
Allison, are you introducing our speaker or I didn't?
I sure can.
Okay.
You. Our director of dental hygiene, Dr. Ida Bergstedt, and student Michaela Mackenzie, sorry, who did an outreach in Africa. They left right after the first of the year and had an amazing experience. So they're here to share with you today.
So we have a video that was made by one of the partnering physicians' child. I say child, but he was the same age. So the video is kind of long. Hopefully it won't lose you in the process. So we'll have a really short amount of time for any questions. So as an introduction, we went to Lagos, Nigeria this time, and we spent about not quite 2 weeks with traveling in 3 separate locations while we were there, 2 clinic days and 2 educational days with the different populations there. So the video will tell you the rest.
I started many years ago doing mostly educational work with trauma victims. I've done work in the United States for the tornadoes, Puerto Rico for the hurricanes, Chechnya with the child soldiers, in Turkey, in Afghanistan, Pakistan, in India, Rwanda, Kenya, Congo, Uganda, many, many places where we have worked with victims of trauma. On one of the trips, I met Dr. Muskin Salau and in Kenya. And he said, why did we not do this in my country of Nigeria? And I said, let's go.
Muskin is allowed, I'm a psychiatrist.
I'm part of the volunteers that put this together. We designed a program, which was a STEM program, in two phases. The first phase was what we termed the teachers program, which we did at the Lagos University Teaching Hospital. The whole aim of the program was about health education. We identified that there's a gap in the community with regards to knowledge of basic health issues. And then we decided to teach a select group of students and their teachers with the hope that the select group would then go on to step it down to teach the wider audience in the school. We covered topics ranging from mental health problems such as peer pressure, substance misuse, anxiety, depression, relaxation techniques, skin problems, career counseling as well.
So it's an enlightening program.
I really enjoy the program because I've learned so much. I've learned malaria, I've learned how to take care of my skin, how to brush my mouth well, and no more nighttime snacking.
I really enjoy the program.
With this type of program, I think the youth, they will be enlightened more on how to avoid addiction, how to have a healthy lifestyle and become a better version of themselves in future.
Today, we are here in a local government where we have an outreach program. I'm talking about mental health, including post-traumatic stress disorders, and providing free medical services, blood pressure check, diabetic check. We are also giving free dental services, including scaling and polishing, small extractions. We are also giving ophthalmological services for children. We have doctors from all over the world, including psychologists and psychotherapists, as well as family physicians and dermatologists, talk about their specialty in rudimentary terms, using lay terms that the population would understand. We're hopeful that we'll be able to get enough support to continue this. Since this is completely voluntary, all the people who are here for the outreach from the United States of America, from United Kingdom, from Qatar, from Lagos University Teaching Hospital, they are paying out of pocket and are sponsoring the whole program without an NGO support. But, you know, we did get a lot from this country. I personally schooled here in Nigeria, and our education was essentially free. And so we thought that a way to give back was to organize this outreach, increase the capacity of students and teachers. We're hopeful that this will spur other folks to do the same.
I own and co-manage Green Fountain Dental Clinic, which is one of the partners, and we are primarily responsible for the dental outreach. In terms of the dental outreach, I think it's important because the mouth is the gateway to the body, and the mouth is the access that can tell you what's going on in the body. The outreach in Ekpe and Badagry has been an opportunity to provide dental care as well as provide dental education to the community.
Also good. We have treated patients for many dental ailments. We have carried out scaling and polishing. We have carried out root planing and curettage. And we have also done some extraction for these patients. Many of these patients carry a lot of dental ailments, cavities, gum diseases, tooth decay. But many of them are not able to afford the treatments. And secondly, many of them are ignorant on how to approach the medical services.
Today, we're performing some dental procedures for the people here at Matagry. We have some people doing some
extractions and cleanings behind me as well, and I'm here today to provide some cleanings and polishing and fluoride applications. So that's what we're doing today.
There was a patient who needed a tray of our teeth extracted, and I'm glad that we were able to offer that. This is a great experience. I really thank God. The thing is too much. It's a great experience for the community at lunch. I really thank God for that. We can focus more on children is because we see that a lot of people are challenged with the eye. The best way to intervene is when they are still young. That problem will not become something bigger when they are old. Conventional education requires 80% visual input. And so restoring vision to children who are impaired is a cardinal part of optimizing and brightening a child's future. And so Restore Foundation continues to go community by community intent on solving visual impairments, which is an impediment to the growth of children and the progress of their future. More than 10 million children currently are visually impaired in Nigeria. And so we all need to have every hands on deck to make sure we do something significant to, dent these statistics.
My role with our team is I do training on mental health topics like trauma and depression and adolescent development. And I also individually to do some stress counseling with individuals who would like to have someone to talk to. So I really enjoyed my time here. I have found the people in Nigeria to be very open and outspoken and compassionate, and I really appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Welcome to Badamati.
You did a really good job with the video, I think. Yeah. So it is intended to create kind of a social movement in that area. It's not just a one-time drop services and out again. It's going to be continued, and they've continued once a month to still do those types of outreaches in those areas. So it'll be perpetual. And so far, we're scheduled to return the US component of that in next January. I'll let Mackenzie say anything that she'd like to.
Yeah, so of course Andrew's a pro at doing these trips. But this was my first time doing anything like this. I knew when I decided I wanted to do dental hygiene that trips like these and trips were a possibility. I had heard about it from other people in the profession, and I knew that was something that I had always wanted to do. Really, when I came here and found out that my director was heavily involved in that, it kind of just felt perfect, and I definitely took the opportunity to go when I was offered. Learned a lot going on that trip. It was very enjoyable for me. Like a lot of people said, like the people of Lagos are very outspoken and great people to be around. They were very involved, cleaned a lot of teeth. I was definitely putting in work. We had some painful days, but definitely worth it, and just appreciative to get to, go somewhere like that and help people who don't have the access to care that, we do here, so.
How many students got to go on the trip? Mackenzie? Oh, it was, I thought we didn't see anymore, but yeah.
Funding was, you had some community support.
What was
For funding?
Yeah.
The Rotary Club did donate $1,000 towards me for the fact to help reimburse me a little bit for the cost. So that was very nice and very helpful.
Mackenzie, what's the most important thing that you learned from this?
Just to Be appreciative and grateful for what you have. You know, it's not to like go places like this and it's like right in front of your face, just how appreciative someone is for, you know, just the littlest things. A lot of things that we might take for granted or not even think about or be grateful for every day. And so I would say that's the most important like lesson that someone could learn is just, you know, be happy and grateful for what you have. And if you have the chance, give back to those who
I really liked the educational event. You did sort of an introduction to health and health professions. And generating that seems like something we could even pick up on here, because our kids here could use the same type of programming. Well, we're very proud of you. You're awesome. Thank you for all of your work on this. I know that it's a lot of your passion, and we appreciate you sharing that with our.
Thank you guys.
I remind you that we had several of these presentations scheduled last meeting. We had so much on the agenda, we moved to a lighter agenda. Next, we have our spring 26 census report. Our search and effectiveness manager, Becky Rose.
Do I need to share screen or is there somebody still on?
Yeah.
Okay, so that is a really, really tough act to follow. I don't have anything nearly as spectacular as that. So Mark is gonna do a song and dance. Okay, no.
That's all. That's all.
Look at the time. Do that next month.
Okay, so as Dr. Bates said, I'm Becky Rose. I'm the manager of research and effectiveness. I work for the talented Darcy McPhail. And this is just a report of our spring census data, which is a snapshot of the 20th day of class, which was February 17th. So the big pieces that people always want to know is how are we doing on head count and credit hours? So head count was 4,066 and our credit hours was 38,000. If you compare that to last spring, we're up 262 students and up 2,783 credit hours. What percent change is that is what we always want to know. Last spring head count comparison is up 6.9%. We were at 3,804 and credit hours were up nearly 8%. Credit hours is where the revenue is. So we want to see the bigger increase there. Now, if you want to look at trends, you may want to look back a little bit further. So I pulled data for 2003, just as a comparison. We are up nearly 30% in both head count and credit hours over 3 years ago, which is amazing. So then looking at it, you want to put it in context and see, okay, how do we compare to our peers? What this shows you is just, it's tracking the percent change by days from census. So if you look at that first dotted line, that's the payment deadline. And then the second dotted line is how are we tracking as of the first day. And then the far right is how are we tracking in percent change as of census. So then to also orient you, the blue line represents state fairs percent change over time for that. The green line represents our Missouri peer group, and then the black line is national. So we are trending both above the national and our Missouri peers as far as percentage increase over last spring. So that's great news. Then Dr. Bates has asked me to look and see where do we see the growth occurring. So that's what the next few slides are intended to show you. This is just showing you all of our campus locations. What it's important to note here is that students can be taking courses at multiple locations. So a student may be at a Sedalia campus, but they also may be in the online campus, and our dual credit students could be in all three. So the dual credit, the reason that has a double asterisk is because that's just the ones that take dual credit at the high school. We have lots of students that are in dual credit that take those courses here and online. So there's overlap. So that's why we're just showing you credit hours. How do we compare to last spring in all of those different areas? This is the breakdown. We've increased by 3,000 credit hours, but our percent change, you can see that we've had a double-digit increase for Boonville, Clinton, and online, and the CTC. We've had a double-digit decrease for Jefferson City, Lake of the Ozarks, and Whiteman. And then the others, you can see single-digit changes. Lake of the Ozarks and Eldon last year were separate, but for the sake of comparison, I've combined them so that you can see year over year what those numbers represent. So then taking a step a little bit back further, looking 3 years ago at 2023, where are we seeing the biggest growth? Because that's kind of our trend where we're growing overall. You can see that Clinton has increased by 35%, online, our biggest increase, 36%, and Sedalia at 24%. So one thing that I think is interesting is that we are generating more credit hours online than we are in Sedalia now. So, and that's trending over the years to go that way. That doesn't mean those students are not taking classes at Sedalia, because my son is one of those. He's taking online and Sedalia classes. So then if you look at by department, so a department groups several programs together, and you look at what is our head count, where's our largest head count. As always, pre-health is our leading head count group. That includes all the pre-nursing, pre-sonography, pre-dental hygiene, all those people that are waiting. They may be taking prereqs or different things to get into our health science programs. That's our largest. Then our general education is just lots of different majors grouped together. Business education, business management is specifically in AAS. Ag and horticulture is AAS and AA because we have students in both. And then nursing is our practical nursing certificate. ADN is our 2-year degree. And then medical and industrial are both AAS programs. So then if you look a little bit deeper, programs or the departments, like I said, encompass several different programs. If you look just by program, a little bit deeper dive, many of those programs are our pre-health programs. No surprise, because that was our top department, right, by head count. But we do have a few that are the specific ones, like the AAT in elementary education. It is our number 5. We also have the certificate in practical nursing, AAS in nursing. So we have some of those technical programs that are in our top 10 programs by head count. Then if you look at the bottom 10 departments, again, higher level by head count, Surge Tech is 7, and I won't go through all these, but what I want to point out is that some of these are consortium programs like respiratory care, medical, lab tech, it's only showing what those students are that are Sedalia or State Fair Community College students. Those programs also have students from other community colleges that are not represented here. And then the ones at the bottom, math, political science, sociology, allied health, foreign language, those are all just AA degree seeking students. Those are not specific to an AAS technical or health science program. Then drilling down, this one is not as meaningful. If you do the bottom 10, well, if you look at it, it's way more than 10, but it's because it's all the ones that have 1 or 2. So again, the pre-respiratory care, pre-ADN, a lot of them are, again, certificate programs, or they're just, there's not a lot to say about this. There's just only 1 or 2 in there. So I don't think anything is significant about this one, really. So then if you look at what I've done in the past is show you a typical student profile of our students during the census snapshot. So these are some of the primary demographic areas that we look at. Full-time, part-time status. The primary group in that is our part-time group, which is nearly 55% of our students. The reason for that is largely dual credit in or dual enrollment students. So that drives our part-time percentage up a lot higher. Then if you look at race and ethnicity, no surprise that our Caucasian students represent nearly 80%, but that has changed slightly. We have increased more in our African-American students, and I believe it was Hispanic. Gender, Richard, what's going to be our primary gender?
Female.
Female, 66%. And that just seems to be trending, increasing more and more over the years. If we look at our student age, when I've done this in the past, Dr. Bates has asked me to remove the dual credit because that kind of gives you a skewed sense of our students and their primary ages. So if you're taking out all those 1,400 dual credit students that we have, what is the primary age demographic? The average age is 23.3. And most of our students are those traditional 18 to 24-year-olds. They're 74%. So nearly 3/4 of our students, taking out all of those dual credit students, are the traditional 18 to 24-year-old students. Then looking at residency. So what percentage of our students come from Missouri? 97% of our students are Missouri students. Even though we said online is our biggest growing, still, those students are Missouri students largely. So it's not like they're from other states taking those courses. They're still here in Missouri taking online. Our primary student type is the continuing returning student, which is good news because we want to retain those students. And then, so this is just a kind of a overall summary. Headcount, as I said, is up. And if you look over the last 3 years, both headcount and credit hours are nearly 30% up. That's amazing. And remember on that chart that I showed you comparing us to our Missouri peers and the national percent change over last year, we're ahead of them as well. We've had big shifts in our online enrollment, Clinton and Sedalia since 2023. So those are our big 3 drivers of enrollment growth. But otherwise, if you're looking at the demographics of our students, major shifts. It's pretty much what you hear me say every time I come and talk to you about those students. All right, any questions?
Excellent job, Director. Time for
A song and dance now.
Not even sleeping.
any questions?
No, that's awesome.
Good job.
Thank you. You have anything like this, Lisa?
Our annual program review up will be for informational purposes, but Dr. Murder.
Thank you. This kind of ties right along with, as you listen to Becky's, you'll think about some of those metrics and some of those things as I talk through here, but this is my opportunity to give you guys the annual program review. And one of the things I want to ensure I do is make sure that you all get the information so you can do your 3 things as directed by the board policy 6310. And that's first confirm that we are reviewing all programs and evaluating them consistently with data and the standards. And 2, understand key trends in enrollment, student success, resources, labor market demands that should shape all of our strategic priorities, budgeting, and future program mixes. And 3rd, we're going to see how program level findings are translated into institution-wide action plans and quality improvement efforts that keep the college aligned with its mission, core values, and strategic plan. So with all that said, we're going to make sure we have quality programs, right? That's the intent of that. So you guys know over the last 2 years, we've implemented it. And again, I could start giving credit and I'll miss somebody, but Becky's in here, her team, we started more than 2 years ago, but for the last 2 years, the college has implemented an expanded program review process, an online tool that ensures all academic departments follow a standardized approach. We make sure that each program review draws on multiple data sources, including things as the course success rates, program enrollment, retentions, trends, budget, performance, graduation rates, employment data and or transfer data. All those things come into play with what we're looking at and then some. And that's all to evaluate program effectiveness. So our academic staff and faculty use this shared tool and data set to identify strengths, challenges, improvement priorities, creating consistent and evidence-based foundation for institutional decision-making. So a whole lot of words to say, again, we do quality programming. And so in your packet, you had a whole big list. And before you fire me, because I have this big list out there with lots of yellow, even orange and red, and you're going, what is this dude doing? First, I did that for a few reasons. One, I wanted to show you how serious, especially the deans, are about program review. It'd be real easy for me to get up here and could honestly go to our external stakeholders. We're all green, except for a couple exceptions I'll talk about, but pretty much we're good. And you would go, okay, and we can move on. But I wanted to show you how in depth we look at it and how serious our deans are. The 3 academic deans that went through this process, they use this and have really bought into the tool. Their folks are using it. It's our ability to plan annually. It's in our process. It ties into FAST goals. It ties into the budget process. It ties into everything 6310 says it should. And so it's a continuation what Dr. Bates started previously and continued, but we have a new automated tool, as I said, and that's really helped us. Second, I really wanted this not just to show you guys that this isn't just an annual exercise. I get up here and again show you it's all green or whatever, and we're good and so forth. This is really part of our year-round operations. And then finally, I also want to give you some examples of how it drives priorities. It drives our budget. It drives our planning for these programs, but also it rolls up, like I said, from the deans all the way to the faculty, but it rolls up so they make bigger decisions. So we may look at some things in microscopic levels, but really it's for them to use as a bigger tool. And then for me, we all see the highest level as well. So just to kind of, if you have looked at the report and saw all the colors, I'll hit on some of the summary real quick and tell you again, just so you can see how important it is to us. So in the arts and sciences, you see some enrollment and completion concerns in disciplines like arts, literature, theater, music, physics, chemistry, sociology. That sounds like a whole lot of issues. Reality is those are really high participation. We have to have them for gen eds. But what I want to really highlight is even though we could we could just go and say, we got plenty of students. I'll pick on Jim. Jim's also looking at it from the other perspective. Why are they not graduating? Where are the students who want to graduate with a chemistry degree and go to Mizzou or to UCM or whatever? So we're looking at this. This yellow is not because we're doing something. We don't have a lot of students necessarily. It's also we don't have a lot of students graduating with these degrees. So we look at it from disciplines, but also programs and what we could do. So program review that's how in depth the deans are taking it as an example. So they're looking at it. So second one I talk about is digital media. Now that one would be one we got identified by the Department of Higher Ed that we didn't have enough viability, enough student graduates. Well, we looked into that, and to be honest, we created that problem ourselves. We actually had plenty of graduates, not the most, not anything to brag about, but we didn't internally have some certificates set up and some things. We didn't give ourselves and the students credit. Again, corrected through this process. We made curriculum changes. It drove changes. We have no concerns about being off track with that. But to tie it in as an example to budget priorities, this is one of the things that also drove us to create a digital media room, dedicated space. So in our budget, we have money going specifically to create a whole lab environment for this degree plan. And so from computers to space to everything. So it has driven our priorities, plan, and so forth. We also have another big concern, the biggest concern in Jim's area is fire science. It has a low turnout. So I marked it orange. I could have marked it red. But we don't get a lot of graduates. One of the things we have to think about, not to let him off the hook, there's a plan that's marked that way for a reason, because we are finding out that it's more about career progression, not new folks coming in to be fire. So we have to address that and recruit it differently. So he's got opportunities to do that, go to more places. But then again, we think back to these things, that's a program, and again, not to let it off the hook, but it's a high demand when they need them, but it doesn't cost us much. So it's one of those we've even talked about. The state has requirements, but if we don't meet those requirements, there's really not a lot lost. So I've even talked to them about it. If we only graduated 2 or 3, we don't pay for the instructors. We don't. So it's a program that doesn't cost as much. Even if we have 2 or 3, or if we have 10 or 12, the value in it is the gen eds and some of the other things that we have. So, so each one of these you take a little bit different view of. I wanted to highlight things such as biology, criminal justice, education, psychology, and communications. Just they have the higher level of things that the other ones we want to do. So, moving on to health science, a couple things. Again, DBrush, HIT. That's an online program, you know, and it's been one that's been around. It's had its ups and downs. We rate really high. We're a fantastic program, but students, it's an online program. They come and go. We'll mention it challenges, not a lot of wraparound student services built into the online. So that's one of the things they're looking at. How do we create some of that capabilities? And talking about exploring learning communities, it's a way to kind of virtual cohorts, so you can try and keep them on track, bring them together as a whole. So they've got plans, and that's what program review is about. How do we, so we're not afraid to highlight when we can improve, and that's really what I want to set the tone here. LPN, retention's tough. Allison, it drives her crazy. She's one of those, you know, health science, if they're not in 90%, they're failing. And even though retentions may be higher than a lot of other programs, it's still for them, it's too low. They've got plans, they're working, they're trying things on. So, and a lot of it's about the student, what the student changes that are coming in from high schools and going into the PN that drives. So they've got to look at, do we change admissions? Do we change? They're looking at curriculum changes. What courses should be taught first? Maybe it's skill sets, making things more skills based than learning based, things like that. Behavioral health, Surge Tech are both 2 new programs working on things such as recruitment and so forth. So I won't hit on them too hard. They're doing well. And again, Surge Tech's coming up to its 3rd year, I believe. So that's when we really have enough data to look at to see if admissions should change. Should we change how we're testing? We have enough data to start looking at other changes. So even those things may seem like they're not going well for us, we mark that yellow or whatever, but it just shows us we need to work on it. And again, one of the things you saw up there, medical assisting, doing very well. We're expanding. We got some other possibilities. We added a faculty member, drives our priorities, drives our budget. So that's what this does. Tech ed, you saw a lot of things on tech ed. One thing I'll say is, a lot of it, if you think back, I don't think we have any instructors here over 3 years. That's not an excuse, but that's an opportunity. We've got to onboard new instructors. They learn about programs. They've made, I think every program's made curriculum changes, major curriculum changes. They got much stronger. I think they're working on stronger advisory boards. Development of stackable certificates. We've had this idea that you either went for a degree or certificate, and it really needs to be about stackable certificates to a degree. And many of our students weren't earning their certificates and things like that. So that's being worked on as well. Right sizing program hours. Some of our programs are way too many hours. That just causes more issues with retention. And then really proud of a lot better articulation agreements and even internal collaboration. Our engineering is working, our EDT, engineering design, a technical program working with the engineering program to how to have common courses and how to do things so students can move back and forth. So, and then we had a couple that I put in red, computer networking. You know, we worry about that because of graduation viability. It's got some low numbers. Again, working on it, streamlining curriculum. There's a plan in place. And machining, really hit that one as a red. Declining enrollment, even though primarily because we've put so much money and significant capacity in it. We want to highlight that. We're not We're not trying to avoid, are we in trouble or any of that? No, we're meeting higher ed requirements. We're doing all those things, but internally, that's really, I guess, the message I want to say. This program review is really, we're truly treating it as an internal improvement in it. And I'm not just saying this because the three of them are in here, but it hinges on the deans. They really, it's theirs at this point, and they make it what it is and the value. And we've got a lot of new folks that are just learning about how to use this to improve a program, let alone learning to teach and run. So some things feel slow because we evaluate once a year. So you take 2, 3, 4 years, it feels like been forever before you see the ship turn, but it is turning for sure. And so I'm very proud of what the deans have done. Becky Rose and her team have done. They work well together, and I just get out of the way and report up here once in a while. Any questions? And I don't know the answers. They definitely.
Well, I'm going to say that annual program review is unique to State Fair Community College. Not every college does it. Part of our continuous quality improvement process. Dr. Murders kind of alluded to this, but I wanted to be very clear that it's hundreds of hours of work. Hundreds from the deans, from the faculty, from Dr. Murders, Keith, and others. All of the recommendations that we bring forward are grounded in true process. And Dr. Murders, Keith, with every dean and every program coordinator on the academic side, and working, we have a new leader in student services, but working on that service as well, and on the books of report.
Yep.
Meet with them to talk about the processes. So tremendous amount of effort, but we did a great job. All right.
Really built it into our culture quality. So, you know, that my goal is to tell you we are doing 63 team to the best it can be done.
Everybody.
Not the flashy part of the job, but it is a lot of businesses that don't do. Sure.
Next on the agenda is the FY 2020 fee rates. So I know that there's quite a few
Like,
going to be doing, or we just
settle in.
once, or you just take each of
We do them in one motion.
With all the tuition ones,
Yeah.
per se, the item 13, 14, 15, and 16. It's up to you all. You've read them, but if you know, I can quickly summarize them.
You can just, go through them and then they can just.
I'll do a quick summary.
pleasure of the board, do them all or move individually as we see them.
Also.
Any object to all? Okay, maybe that might make it, I don't know if it'll make it easier for you, but move them all.
Now I'll do a quick summary of, each of the various tuitions, primarily the tuition for our, the 13. So for the academic year 26-27, we're proposing the following, tuition rates. In district residents at 137, which is up $4, 3% increase. Missouri residents up to 209, which is a $6 increase. Non-Missouri residents 281, which is an $8 increase. We've actually we revamped our tiers. We have 6-tier tuition programs. Tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 have not changed. They are the same as they have been. Tier 4, actually, we decreased the cost of it by $45, and we added a tier 5 at $275 and a tier 6 at $340. Those tier tuitions are shown in your attachments as to what's in them. Technology fee would be no increase at all. And also for military, so to summarize, military individuals, if they're not in district, all military individuals and their dependents will have the in-state rate. For them, there will be no technology fee for military students. Okay. And then the other three, we have 3 MLT consortium programs. One is the medical lab technician program. Its cost is going up to $365 per credit hour. The chargeback fee to the consortium is $285, so we will keep the $85 differential there. Occupational therapy, its cost will go up to $294 per credit hour with the chargeback fee at $229. Respiratory care is the same. I think it's the same. Well, respiratory care is the same as occupational therapy at $294 and $229. So those are the tuitions. Any questions on any of them? I know I went through it pretty quickly.
On the health consortium, those fees are recommended by the consortium and
We don't
rules.
Get a motion and a second, and then questions will go with that. So a motion would be all of the tuition and fee rates that Keith had proposed. So I entertain a motion. Questions, discussion.
Over in our work session and had opportunity. Our question. We got our answer.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Oh, same sign. Motion passes.
Okay. FY 2027 full-time exempt positions. So while there are at the very end of your attachment are the new positions that are being proposed for this year. For a few of them that are the full-time positions. We'll be adding a biology instructor in LOZ. We'll be adding an English instructor in Clinton. I'm just going over the full-time, the ones that are being full-time. New instructor in dental hygiene, new clinical coordinator in medical assisting. A new head coach for women's soccer. With the addition of the athletic fields, we'll have a director for our athletic facilities, the MPC and athletic complex. And then there's a variety of positions that are going part-time and full-time, and some being reassigned, but those are effectively the new ones there. All the other positions are as we've had in the past. So pending final approval of the FY 2027 budgets, recommended the Board of Trustees approve the full-time faculty exempt and administrative positions as presented and the new positions as listed, which have been included in the FY 27 budget development process. So questions on anything here that myself or Dr. Murders or anyone else can answer?
I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Here a second.
Second.
Questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye. Oh, same sign. Motion passes.
Okay. What everyone waits for, employee compensation for FY 2027. Recommended the Board of Trustees adopt the following compensation increases for fiscal year 2027 for employees in good standing and hired before February 1, 2026. For full-time faculty, a 3.1 increase in the current faculty salary base for both 168-day and 184-day contracts, as well as provide a 1-step advancement on the updated salary schedule, unless at the maximum step for faculty eligible for a step. That basically equates to 5%. For non-instructional full-time staff, a 5% increase. For permanent part-time classified staff, a 5% increase. For adjunct faculty, increased compensation to $700 per credit hour. That's up from $675 a credit hour. An increase of $25 per hour. For faculty overload, an increase in compensation to $725 per credit hour, which is also an increase of $25 per credit hour. Then any adjustments as appropriate for educational attainment, professional development activities, job reclassification, and or equity. The above package has been taken into consideration for the development of the fiscal 2027 budget. So it's recommended the Board of Trustees approve the compensation increases pending final approval of the 2027 budget.
Myself for this one through 22. Unless you want me to tell you each time.
Yeah, that's good. Just so we know. Thank you much, Tim. Amy said. Any questions or discussion?
This is you, it's in our work session. We had the general session.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Same sign. Motion passes. Yes, we have one abstention.
2027 group plan, group health plan.
You're good, you're good. I was just gonna ask the same question. Can we go to 19, 20, 21, 22 as all one? Because it's all revolving to insurance.
Okay, to the board, any objection? Okay, we're good with that.
So if you want to summarize each,
I'll summarize. So the group health plan is up 4.6% from last year. We'll pay $841 for the course group health plan. Little context, 2 years ago, before we went to the new consortium, so 2 years prior to this, our cost was $827, it's $841 now, so it's basically gone up only $14 in 2 years. So it's worked out pretty well for us. And the 4.6% increase is good there. Others have gone up a little bit higher. You'll see the dental insurance has gone up to where the $36.42. The vision insurance, which is paid for. So dental is also paid for by State Fair, $36.42. Vision insurance is available to our employees. They pay for it themselves. Now that plan is $7.61. AD&D, accidental death and dismemberment, and basic life insurance, which the college pays for. There are optional plans that the employees can pay. Those are 17 cents per thousand of coverage. Those are a fair amount, but it's also a very low number on that 20%. So your approval for group health, dental insurance, AD&D, and life insurance.
Questions or discussion? All in favor then of the health plans as well as the insurance as presented? Favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes with one abstention. Okay, Great Western Dining.
So last month you approved the room and board rates. This is approving the Great Western's Dining Agreement. We just had to get it basically to us since last month. The rates you see here are up 3% from last year. Even though the Great Western incurred a fairly significant increase in labor costs due to the change in the minimum wage this year. So it's recommended the Board of Trustees approve the renewal option from Great Western Dining for the FY 2027 fiscal year and authorize the Vice President of Finance Administration to sign the agreement. This is year 5 of a 15-year contract included as part of the current agreement. The rates are below. Obviously, the one that's important to us is probably at between $290 to $299 to $300 to $309. So we have approximately 300 residents. So those are the rates we pay on the to Great Western. Upward Bound, which they also service. Upward Bound has breakfast rates at $5.46. These are significantly discounted rates for the Upward Bound program that they then charge to us, which then is reimbursed by the government. $5.46, $6.90 lunch and dinner. Approval of the contract.
I would entertain a motion to approve.
Moved.
Your second.
Okay.
Questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye. On the same sign. Motion passes.
Now fun stuff. Stimulator.
I was fun with all that.
Allison, would you like to say anything on this one? Tell them what.
When we wrote the Mills 5 grant a couple years ago, which is what funded our clinical sciences renovation, we included in the grant the startup of a paramedic program. So in the process, I think I've told you all already, Amy Jackson and I actually came a couple months ago and presented that we're going to be partnering with MU Healthcare. We're going to be a satellite campus at Clinton. So with those grant funds, we're super excited. We're going to proceed with the purchase, with your blessing, of course, of a ambulance simulator that will be installed in a classroom at the Clinton campus. It's essentially the box portion of the ambulance, the back portion. We don't need the driving piece. These folks will already be EMTs that are coming into this program, so they will already have had the driving. And are you bummed about that?
I am bummed. I was gonna say, I will approve this if I can drive the ambulance, but then I can't say that.
Well, you could share.
That's what this purchase is for, is it is identical to the back of the inside of the ambulance with the very confined spaces and tiny little benches and all of the storage that they'll use on an actual ambulance. And it's the correct height, so the loading and unloading of the cot will be realistic and those kind of things. And it comes with video equipment, so the other students can observe while the student is taking care of the patient.
So.
These two guys will,
Yep, fast I can get from Clinton to Cincinnati.
Well, with that, recommend the Board of Trustees approve the purchase of an ambulance simulator, including installation from EMS Simulator of Frisco, Texas, in the amount of $78,212. 3 bids were received. This simulator will be used for the paramedic training program house at the SFCC Clinton office, and funding is the MOG Sales 5 funds.
Motion.
questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. The same sign. Motion passes.
Darcy, you want to mention that you be a guest speaker for the EdSight Student Retention Solution?
EdSights is, it's an AI-powered chatbot that's used to support student retention and persistence by collecting qualitative data from students directly on an ongoing basis. Here's what that means, is that it will periodically, every 7 to 10 days, send out a text-based survey to the students, to their phones, asking things about their sense of belonging, their financial stress, academic engagement, and it then collects that data. It does actually several things. It can provide them with instant feedback to links to services and resources. It will also trigger, if there are certain trigger words used that would indicate that they're getting ready to drop out, or if it's a more serious mental health issue, it will notify someone on campus that we've designated to receive those messages by email. It also can link in with our Starfish or version of Starfish Navigate. It will integrate into those systems and add those contacts, add that information that it gleans from the students into their student files in that system. So this is an interesting way to integrate AI into our retention efforts. And it estimates that they said their average persistent increase is between 3.5% and 4%. So if we can increase our persistence, our retention rates by that much, that would be good for us and good for the students.
You know of other schools using this?
Yep, Jeffco uses it. College does. Mizzou uses it. I believe UCM uses it as well. But I better back off on that one because I'm not sure. But we get good feedback from other people using it.
And Keith, you checked a reference on that.
I have a very close reference on that. My daughter is a student advisor at the University of Missouri, and she uses it. Her students use it, and she's found it. I think they have a very robust program there, but she's found it very, very helpful for her helping out her 300 plus students that she's.
So part of the idea of this is to make our retention system more efficient by using technology to handle some low-level stuff and allow our staff, including the navigators, to deal with issues that require more personal attention. So that's the whole idea of it.
It's recommended that the Board of Trustees approve the licensing of the Student Solutions chatbot and platform at Science LLC of New York, the amount of $37,250 for a 1-year contract. EdScience is the leading provider of student retention AI chatbots in the higher education sector. The 1-year contract will allow SFCC to pilot the retention solution before committing to a longer term. Funding is the strategic initiative funds within the FY26 operating budget.
Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Any other questions or discussion?
I think the potential return, 3%, 120 students. And the cost is not that high risk. It seems to be, if we can increase our retention.
To point out too that this supports our strategic plan because it addresses a FAST goal this year to connect students with the resources they need to be successful. So it is an important step in strategic plan as well.
Thank you for noting that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Same sign. Passes. All right.
Hey, next on June is the sale of leased real property to the Pettis County Fire District. It's recommended the Board of Trustees approve the sale of State Fair Community College real property currently leased to the Pettis County Fire District for the purchase price of $10. If at any time in the future, the real property is no longer used as a fire station, the property would revert back to State Fair Community College. We've done all the necessary things. We run the notice in the paper, done all the necessary things there. Pettis County Fire District has already signed the agreement themselves. They at their last board meeting. So this is the last step we have of approving the sale and then signing the contract to go ahead and transfer that property over to the fire district. Again, with the caveat that if at any point in the future they were not to have a station there, it would revert to the college at that point.
Well, on their approval, then there would be a meeting.
Now, once we sign it and they sign it, then we'll take this to closing after this.
Second.
Second.
Any other questions or discussion?
What date will we set for closing? Do we know yet?
We put a placeholder in here, I think April 27, but that was just a made up number. There is no, I've got a note into Stephanie Landman. She said, when you get it signed, send it to me and we'll find a time. There's no rush. It's whenever. We just had to plug something in. With the caveat that it says and we can always change it.
Well, our copy just is blank on that section. That's why I asked.
Is it?
Just says shall take place.
Oh, okay, well, you got the one before I put it in there. What number is that?
It's number 5.
Let's see if I place sign one on it. Number 5 here says, yeah, April 28th. But that's so.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Sign. All right, thank you, Keith. It's like Dr. Bates.
Right, I'm gonna keep this short if I can. Calendar review note in the agenda, there are 3 items that are further out, but they're NCCA conference and the ACT Leadership Congress and the Fall Convention for MCCA. These require advance notice to reserve a spot in. Last year, we didn't get a hotel, the convention hotel for ACT. So we want to make sure we want to make sure we get the queue for the. So we're asking you all to look out at this. All gives you a chance to plan if you want to attend these events. So please communicate. And she'll send out. Hopefully attached is the upcoming events calendar. Tomorrow is the watch party for our women's basketball team. We're in the national championships. For the second time in our history, our women have won the first round game and are in the second. So that only has occurred one other time in our history with any of our basketball programs. So they can play walk tomorrow at 7. Tomorrow at 10. If they win, they play Saturday versus Bob probably Butler College, which is a #1 ranked. But that puts them in the elite order. Anyway.
You're gonna get your private jet and take us all down if they.
Yeah, I just got back. I left at 4:15 this morning and so I'm hoarse because I was screaming at the referees. So, but it was very, very exciting and what an experience for those girls. And the cheerleaders went along. I was visiting with some of the cheerleaders and many of them hadn't been out of the state of Missouri before. Trip out of the state. So it's like the experience with the dental hygiene student, you know, exposing them to other things. Just a second. But continuing then Saturday is the Foundation Gala. I think all of you are coming to that. Looking forward to seeing you there. Mary's been working herself ragged with her team, Megan and Irina, and everyone says in the community this is the best party in town, and so they're gonna live up to that expectation, I'm sure. So anything to add, Mary? Thank you for your work. This afternoon, I went out on the softball field and visited with the softball team that was practicing on our new softball field. And so they love it. All the players love the field and are very excited about being able to have their first game on that. We still, though the field, practice on the field, we still don't have electrical power. You have to have a scoreboard by rule. And so that may be installed. The electrical power may be brought in next week. So these dates that include a home game, that's kind of tentative whether that'll occur. And in addition, we're still trying to schedule the first pitch events. We've given you dates and they haven't come through because the field wasn't done. So we have some dates set. I'm not going to tell you what they are, but because they may change and then you'll be all disappointed and think, what the heck is going on, Bates? But April 19th and April 24th, we have those tentatively penciled in. Hope we can get it done in time for that. But as soon as we know more about that power situation. You see other things on there. The National Signing Day, April 15th, is a big recruitment event for us. And on April 17th, excuse me, there is a open house for our clinical science facility. So there'll be a ribbon cutting that occurs. I think we talked about this previously. 12 to 1 is the ribbon cutting with the open house 1 to 4. And we want you all to be there to participate in the ribbon cutting if you can. So that'll be outside, pending weather, I guess, outside of the house. Sounds right. All right, and a lot of great things going on. I don't know if you read about it in the newspaper, but the police department had a problem with they're using drones more for their investigative activity. And they had a drone that flies inside, but they couldn't see below because the light on the drone shined forward instead of down. So the police department approached our engineering design department, Madison Hercules and her students, and they designed an addition to the drone that would shine the light down in addition to so they designed that and then built the whole apparatus in a 3D printer, I believe, for that process. So they were honored by the city of Sedalia, recognized for their work. It represents a wonderful service learning project for our students in a real collaborative community project. So I want to recognize Madison and her teams. Over I hope I can finish this before I lose my voice, but over spring break, one of the things that I did was met with Steve Ellenbrock. He and I won't share the long story on how he got involved, but he supports a school in Uganda. And the director of that school was here along with another gentleman that the United States that also supports that school in Uganda. It's the highest performing public or school in the country of Uganda. And they deal with, I think, orphaned kids, disadvantaged kids come in and academically they perform really well. They have a farm on this and they wanted to learn about agriculture. That's why they visited with us. And so Carla Riggs, or ag faculty, just happened to be there that day. And I brought in Ty Jones and we talked to them about agriculture and how they could use their resident students to take care of the farm and learn about agriculture and apply learning in chemistry and a lot of other areas. And there's an opportunity there, like in our dental hygiene program for our ag students to go to Uganda and partner with the school. And the thing I wanted to highlight in that is the global village, the importance of the global village today. The world is so small. Every that we work with has some kind of global involvement, and including agriculture, maybe especially agriculture. So these kind of opportunities, even just one student dental hygiene going to Nigeria, is a wonderful opportunity for our students. Speaks a lot about the academic quality of the school. So good things happen, and that's all I'm going to say. Out of point.
I will let you know, Butler, #1 team in the tournament, lost today.
You are kidding me.
By 16 and lost in overtime, about to New Mexico. And then defending state champs out of Florida lost to Hutchinson in overtime. They lost in overtime too. So the #1 and #4 seeds are gone out of the tournament.
I might be making a trip Monday.
Bracket is open. We can stay focused. So
I talked to a guy who said Butler was the best team he's ever seen play basketball.
gave up a 16-point lead and lost in overtime.
Who was the team that beat?
Huh?
Who was the team that beat them?
I can't know.
They would have been ranked.
They were a 16 seed.
Yeah.
Yeah, 16 seed. That's big. Woo. Go Roadrunners.
It's for sure. All right, any questions for Dr. Bates? Looks like Keith, I think next, isn't it? Yeah, financial report.
Yep.
For purposes only.
Okay. So we have a February 28th report. And no change from prior months. We continue to perform very well. As you can see, the one thing I'm really proud of for the college is we're keeping our expenses under control, tracking very, very well with them, even with the addition of some of the additional budget expenditures that we've authorized, and those are being spent. So we're doing a very, very good job there. So otherwise, we continue to be on track for a healthy year, as well as being able to take some expenses that would be occurring in next year into this year to help out next year's budget, make it a much easier budget for us in the next year we may need. Okay. Then other than that, there was one purchase, one between 10 and 25 was to game one for various athletic supplies. So any questions, thoughts, comments?
Okay. And next on the agenda is board discussion. Well, we kind of have a couple of things listed, legislative visits. So Richard and I ended with Dr. Bates. I don't have the date written down, but we did go see the legislators. We saw what you call a baker's dozen as how many visits we made that day. So we started pretty early. Didn't get lunch. I will report back that Boulevard. We did. He'd never eaten downstairs in the cafeteria. And so it's like for him, this was a new experience. He got
Eating lunch, isn't it?
Works through lunch.
well, he worked through lunch, I guess. So, but anyway, we did. we find those legislators, or from my personal view, you know, they are always open to hear what's going on with State Fair Community College, what's going on with community colleges, and how can they help us? So I'm just always amazed that, you know, that they really, that they look to us then for the knowledge of things to do, because they can't know everything that there is. So Richard, what would you like to share about our legislative visit?
We were able to talk to folks, get the lay of the land, let them know somewhat of the financial challenges that we foresee coming up. They shared the financial challenges that they were anticipating as well. There were a couple of the legislators had asked Dr. Bates to look into a couple of things that could help their districts and their communities, that quite honestly would also help State Fair a bit. We did have the opportunity to talk about the Associate of Applied Science and Teaching, and to answer questions there, and they picked up a vote or two along the way. On that issue, I think that was some of the highlights of this visit. Came the same week that the House Budget Fair announced the most new funding formula for higher education, and that was passed out of committee, House Bill 3, and it's just in today. The House voted on that, and they passed House Bill 383 to 66, which is really considered a narrow passage of a House budget. And there is several stories out. The Missouri Independent has a story just out today. It goes to the Senate now, and the Missouri's Independent's story says, a complete joke. Higher education funding overhaul finds few takers in Missouri Senate. So by all counts, people are projecting that it'll die in the Senate, and our current funding formula would be. That funding formula is a PE-based funding formula. It would result in, if it was passed, $1 million increase in state appropriation to State Fair Community College. But it would result in a $10 million decrease in St. Louis Community College, as an example. And that funding formula has other costs to it, even though temporarily it looked good for State Fair Community College, and we'd probably figure out a way to make it work for us long term. There's some challenges with it, so it was actually those concerns. Our strategic plan is designed to address some of the challenges raised by the House committee. What passed the House, but we're going to end up with, eventually they're going to get back to the governor's recommendation funding, which is what keeps it. That's where it's headed.
Anything else then to add? So we appreciate the opportunity to make that connection with our legislative
relationships. That's what it's
in relationships. That's right. All right. Next on our list, anybody else on legislative visits or questions for us?
I'll mention that talked about already concerns. Each person in the House
on that issue is Representative Taylor, who from Cooper County, Cooper Montauk County, and is someone that we've visited with on several occasions, and I think what's happening in the legislature on property tax, where it's headed right now, is that they're cleaning some things up. And but we're not going, but I don't think we're facing a significant line reduction in the local tax revenue that we'll be able to, that contribution to our budget. I don't think that's at risk based upon the property tax legislation that seems to be making headway.
Thank you, Richard. Debates. Next, we have on there about the presidential search. We'll let Justin take the lead because he is the chair of that search committee.
So we met with Dr. Ebersol, who is our ACCT point of contact. A couple weeks ago, we got the first initial report out that came out on behalf of Patty Wood, being president of the Board of Trustees. And that set the public forum dates on April 22nd, 9 a.m. and noon will both be in the Stoffaker, and 5:30 will be in the Ellenbrock in the lobby. No RSVP needed. We did, I just want to make a quick note. We did ask about the Board of Trustees attending that, and he said from his experience and all the searches he's done, he gets better feedback if we're not there. But of course, you are a taxpaying citizen, so you're allowed to be there. But that was his opinion on that, since we will have the 23rd board meeting to provide our input. The other thing I wanted to point out is the presidential search landing page on the website is active. Thank you to Sam and everybody has contributed to that. The Survey Monkey is already live for feedback. So we're working through opportunities to share that to the general public to get feedback no later than 8 p.m. on the 22nd, so we can discuss on the 23rd. So he's finding avenues to push that out right now, which will allow us to create the presidential profile and continue to put forward a new president, since ours decides he would like to retire. Oh, yeah. I'm not gonna quit using this. Oh, and that's all I had on that. But tomorrow we'll have the opportunity to recognize Dr. Bates tomorrow at the chamber luncheon. Little known fact, you'll get to find out, I get to introduce you. I personally asked for this. And so be prepared for more hits on this retirement topic.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be there.
No, so I made sure of it. So I did want to recognize you here tonight, and as far as that, he will be the legacy recipient of the chamber, and it is well earned. I have typed out my notes and they are good. I'm not taking any retirement shots, but yet. But looking at the recap of this, quite the record, sir, and appreciate it. So I think it is well earned to be doing that tomorrow. So that's all I got.
You, Justin. Anybody else? Have any board discussion? All right, looks like the next meeting for the Board of Trustees will be held for the general session on Thursday, April 23rd, 2026 at 5:30 right here in the boardroom.
There might be a work session with that related.
Okay. Okay. So we'll just.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll probably need one for that, but you know, somebody wasn't on their second spring break. I could confirm that, but
Yeah, seems as if though we did discuss, we might.
we might. I will know for sure here pretty quick once I
Yeah,
get that.
we'll get that info sent out to you about them. Okay. Next on the agenda is request for closed session. It is for lease, purchase, or sale of real estate pursuant to RSMO section 610.0212. Hiring, firing, disciplining, or promotion of personnel pursuant to RSMO section 610.0213. And just note that we have nothing else on the agenda afterwards. So when we come out of closed session, we will be adjourning the general session as well. So I would entertain a motion to go into closed session as listed. Your second.
For Shears? Yes. Ben Carr?
Yes.
Justin Fox?
Yes.
Jeff Page?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes. Thank you guys for coming. If you hurry outside, maybe let's see, temperature, it's still 85. Do your summer activities for a few